and then taken back into the United States, where your Fuhrer lived at Camp David in Bethesda, Maryland. Your Fuhrer had the distinction, and I forgot his name, and I'll get his name for you, but he changed his name and died at the ripe old age of 114 years in 2004. He was the oldest man in America, and you remember that every time they show you that, oh, here's the oldest man in America, they usually give you a picture of him. At the time when they talked about the oldest man in America dying, and they said what his name was, they never showed you a picture.
Right.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is a family portrait that Otto Skorzeny gave to the author Eric Orion Berman. Eric Orion Berman was actually in love with his daughter. And his daughter, Eric Orion, they knew he was a Jew. But it was all right because they were in America and he was doing right by his daughter. His daughter raved about Eric and loved Eric. And what Otto did was one day pull Eric aside and say, come here, I want to tell you a few things. They didn't know who Otto was. He didn't know who Otto was until he revealed to Eric who he really was, because he was dying. And over the period of time that Otto Skorzeny was alive before he passed, he outed everybody in the Bush family. Not only did he out them, he had a shoebox full of pictures. 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 Ladies and gentlemen, Martin Bormann, Reinhard Gillen, Otto Skorzeny as a youth, Joseph Mengele, and George Scherf and his wife. Now I want you to look at these pictures because they're very faint, they're old, they were taken back in the 1930s. And it's very difficult. I want you to settle in with this and take a look at it. Look at the picture, and I will go forward and we'll come back to it again. Ladies and gentlemen, here you have, running for senator, Prescott Bush and his wife, along with his son, George W.H. Bush, or H.W., or George Herbert Walker Bush. Check. Okay, another picture, and they're faded, so I had to, this is very, very difficult. Another picture of them, here they are. Here's Herbert Walker, here's Prescott, and there he is again. Okay? Keep your eyes peeled. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing you to Prescott Walker Bush and his father, Samuel Prescott Bush. Ladies and gentlemen, I introduce you to George Scherf Jr., a.k.a. George Herbert Walker Bush. And they say you are the company you keep.
Okay.
Check. He is dressed in a German naval officers, not officer, a naval academy of the Germans. He and Martin Bormann, who became Hitler's money man in the Nazis. Now just keep a pace with me. I told you that the father here, his name is George Scherf. He is George Scherf Jr. That's his name.
Samuel or Prescott?
No. This is George Scherf. His name, remember, he is not Prescott or Samuel's son. He is George Scherf's son. He was commissioned by Hitler to spy when he was 16, 14, 15, 16 years of age from the Hitler Youth. He joined up with the Navy, the U.S. Navy, when he was 16, and because of Prescott Bush's relationship with the Nazis as the banker over here in the United States, he gave sanctuary to George Scherf, and George Scherf became George Herbert Walker Bush so that he could matriculate into the United States and spy, because he was a spy. He was taught to be a spy. Any clues as to what he eventually became? But wait, when you find out who helped create the CIA along with him. Ladies and gentlemen, do you see? Here he is again. Now you have to remember that you're looking at have you ever seen pictures of yourself when you're real young? And you don't even look the same anymore, do you? Somehow your cheeks fill out, or you look smaller, you look thinner, you look different. Well, George Herbert Walker Bush has gone through so many different changes, you can't even recognize him anymore. But here's the sweet part about it. The older he got, the more he began looking. Keep looking at the metamorphosis. There he is again. At where?
Yes.
Skull and Bones.
That's funny. That's funny, Colonel. That's a funny dude.
It ain't funny because these sons of bitches are running the country. Okay?
Take the next left.
The George Bush Center for Intelligence. We're leading up to something here, ain't we? Because who is this George Bush? How is it that he became your president? Who the hell is he? You putting anybody in office now. What is this nest of vipers that we're dealing with all around us, that we are looking at slowly and surely are now becoming part of our life, our American life stream? And you would think that all of the Kentucky good old boys with the goddamn St. Andrew's crosses would be up in arms right now. I would at least think some Jews would be going apeshit. Remember why they shot John Lennon. John Lennon says, well, how does it feel to be a felon? He says, well, I live in a country that's run by Nazis. I should be right at home. And back when he said that, we said, what? John Lennon. There you go. Now you know this guy, Howdy Doody, is an idiot, so we know that he had to be mic'd in order for him to have the next sentence. But I want you to think about something else as you're going through this.
Schwarzenegger.
That's right.
Arnold Schwarzenegger, did anybody